Hi everybody. So today in Angular 9 we are going to start with TypeScript. So these are the topics what we are going to discuss in TypeScript, and this TypeScript topics will help us in Angular web application development. The first topic is what is TypeScript, introduction and history of TypeScript, how to set up TypeScript in Windows environment or Windows operating system. So these are the three things what we are going to discuss today in TypeScript. Right, so before starting with TypeScript, we'll try to understand. So all these Angular sessions what we are going to discuss for TypeScript also. So with TypeScript, so the course duration is 45 to 50 sessions. First week will be completely free TypeScript, and daily it will be 1 hour of the session. So every session is recorded, and recorded sessions will be provided to the students for access and future references. And these recordings are done on the daily basis, and they are shared with the students through Google Drive for 3 months. And the Google Drive or the Gmail ID which I'm going to use for sharing these videos are srikanth.sai.online@gmail.com. Right. So let's start with TypeScript. So let's have a small introduction on TypeScript. So first of all, what is TypeScript? So TypeScript is nothing but JavaScript only, but it allows us to write JavaScript as per our requirement in web page development. So basically, whenever we want to do programming in a web page, okay, so programming in a web page is not possible through HTML and CSS, because we have already discussed in the last session. Okay, so HTML is mainly used for presentation of data in web page. Next, coming to the CSS. So CSS, okay, it makes our web page more stylish, more colorful, more interactive. Okay, it will make our web page more stylish, more colorful, more interactive. So these are the two capabilities of HTML and CSS in developing any web page. So these two does not have programming capability. So to performing programming capability, we have to use JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript has programming capability. So that is what we have to understand here. Third one, JavaScript, it provides programming capability in web page. Right, so the advanced version, so you can't say it as a something like advanced version, because JavaScript is separate and TypeScript is separate, but TypeScript is superscript of JavaScript. Means in TypeScript we can do JavaScript plus extra features. So that is what it means. We can do both JavaScript plus extra features. So let us try to understand this with a small diagram. What do you mean by superscript of JavaScript? Okay, so if you try to understand with a small diagram, TypeScript is a superscript of JavaScript. Okay, so for example, let us say that in JavaScript you are doing these things in web page development, whereas in TypeScript you can do JavaScript plus extra things. So those extra things will come in TypeScript. So this is what we call it as TypeScript is a superscript of JavaScript. We can do JavaScript as well as we can also do extra things in TypeScript. So what are those extra things in TypeScript which can be performed? So basically those extra things are oops concepts. So what are those oops concepts? We'll try to understand now. So oops concepts means we can do classes, objects, inheritance, interfaces, etc. So these are the concepts which are supported in programming languages like Java, .NET. So same thing can also be done in TypeScript. So these are the OOPS concepts: abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, etc. So these kind of concepts can be done in TypeScript. So that is why we call TypeScript as superscript of JavaScript. Right. So now let us try to understand what happens with TypeScript when compared to JavaScript. Okay. So every TypeScript, before it is executed in the browser, it is converted into JavaScript. And this conversion happens on the server only. So whenever we write a client side web application program or a web page program, so TypeScript programs are written with .ts files, and these files are converted to .js. .js. So .js indicates JavaScript file. Okay, because right, Gopi, is it audible now? Yes, Gopi. Right. Fine. So whenever we want to use TypeScript in our web page application development, internally every TypeScript is automatically converted into JavaScript. So how this conversion happens? Okay, so this conversion happens with a special process known as transpilation. So transpilation is a process of converting JavaScript TypeScript into JavaScript. Okay, so how this is done? So before Angular is executed for the user in the browser, in server only this conversion is done. Okay, and this conversion is done with a small piece of software known as transpilation. So transpilation will convert our TypeScript program .ts into JavaScript. So JavaScript means .js, and this JavaScript is sent with your HTML web page as response, and then it is executed in the browser. Okay, so this is what happens with every TypeScript which the user writes. in web application development. Right. So we have some other scripting languages which are also converted into JavaScript. Okay. So same like TypeScript, which helps us in client-side dynamic web application development. We also have other scripting languages which are also converted or compiled into JavaScript. They are Dart, ELM, PureScript, next CoffeeScript, ClojureScript, Scala.js, ReasonScript, Haxi, Nim, etc. Okay, so all these things. Okay, so all these above scripting languages are used for dynamic web page development. So whenever you want to develop any dynamic web page development, we have to use scripting languages, but all these are automatically converted into JavaScript because till today browser understands only JavaScript. So browser understands only JavaScript. So this is what is about TypeScript introduction. So now let us try to understand with a small note point. Angular framework is completely rewritten in TypeScript only. So Angular framework, the web framework what we are going to discuss, it is completely rewritten in TypeScript only. So this TypeScript allows us to write both client side as well as server side scripts. Okay, so whenever we discuss three-tier architecture, so in three-tier architecture we have client, we have server, and we have database. Okay, so both server side scripting as well as client side scripting, so both can be done using TypeScript. Okay, so what is the advantage of this? We can develop a web page or a web application quick and fast. Okay, and whenever you want to learn a TypeScript, the prerequisites for TypeScript are basic knowledge on JavaScript and basic knowledge on object oriented programming. Okay, so you should have basic knowledge, that's enough. If you have the basic knowledge on JavaScript and object oriented programming, we can work with TypeScript. So now let us try to understand introduction and history of TypeScript. Okay, so first of all, JavaScript. So what is the use of JavaScript? So JavaScript is a scripting language for programming in HTML web page. So we already know that HTML and CSS does not have programming capability. So if you want to have the programming capability, then we have to go for JavaScript. Okay, similarly we also have Node.js. Okay, so this Node.js is a server side scripting language. Okay, right. So what happens when you're developing any enterprise applications? So enterprise applications means like banking applications, okay, online shopping applications, big networking applications. In those, writing JavaScript is very complex and difficult to maintain, and the best alternative for JavaScript is TypeScript. Okay, and TypeScript also provides extra features like object oriented as well as type checking. So in TypeScript we also have the concept of data types. We also have the concept of data types. Okay, so JavaScript. So basically we use JavaScript for client side scripting programming or scripting, and Node.js is used for server side scripting. Okay, so whenever you want to develop big applications, JavaScript is highly complex, because in JavaScript we write everything in the form of functions. Reason is because everything in JavaScript is coded as functions. So that's why these maintaining the functions is highly complex and difficult to edit, update, and add the new functionality. And the best alternative is TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript provides modular programming. So you can also say it as it provides modular programming using classes. So this is the main advantage of TypeScript when compared to other scripting languages. So what is the technical definition of TypeScript? So TypeScript is JavaScript only for developing dynamic web application. So it is object oriented, it is compiled language, as well as it is typed language. So typed language means TypeScript supports the concept of data types, which is very important for us. Okay, right. So this is what is small introduction to TypeScript. Now let us get into history of TypeScript. So TypeScript was invented by Anders Helsberg. Okay, so it was invented by Anders Helsberg at Microsoft company in 1996. And we already know that TypeScript is a superscript of JavaScript. So we can do JavaScript plus additional features in TypeScript. So this was a small diagram what we understood with TypeScript. JavaScript plus extra features. Right, so it was invented by Anders Helsberg, Microsoft company, 1996. So what are the features of TypeScript? Okay, the mainly noted features of TypeScript is every TypeScript is a JavaScript only. So JavaScript plus extra things, because till today browser understands only JavaScript. So before the TypeScript is executed in the web page browser, it should be converted into JavaScript, and this conversion happens on the server side only, and then we'll get a web page with HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. Next, two, it supports JavaScript libraries also. So whatever the libraries we have in JavaScript can be used in TypeScript. So all the functions which are supported by JavaScript can be used in TypeScript. So JavaScript to TypeScript is also possible. Means every JavaScript can be converted into TypeScript. It is 100% possible. Next, it is portable. So we can use this in any browser, any operating system, any device. Next, it is object oriented. It supports all the features of hooks. Okay. Next, it supports data types, which is very important. So like C, C++, Java, .NET, TypeScript also supports data types. Okay, and next it provides the concept of classes and modules. Okay, so these are very important features, classes and modules. For this we have a separate chapter in TypeScript. And TypeScript also supports generics and annotations. Okay, Like in Java, you have generics and annotations. In the same way, TypeScript also supports these two concepts. Okay, right. So these are some noted features of TypeScript. Right. So now we'll try to understand what are the advantages of TypeScript. Okay, one, it is a compiled scripting language. Okay, so compiled scripting language means when TypeScript is converted into JavaScript, there should not be any errors. Compulsory, there should not be any errors. Then only such web page, HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript, is sent as a response back to the client. But JavaScript is not like that. In JavaScript, if you have any errors, the web page is sent as a response back to the client, and those errors are reflected in the browser window developer options. So such JavaScript is not executed properly. But in the case of TypeScript, it is not like that. If you have any errors in the TypeScript, so TypeScript is not converted into JavaScript, and that JavaScript is not sent as a response back to the client in the form of HTML web page. So this is one main advantage. Two, it supports data types. So in JavaScript, we have universal data type var, whereas in TypeScript, we have the concept of data types. We have integers, we have decimals, we have strings, we have characters, we have object data types, etc. Okay, and all the libraries of JavaScript are supported in TypeScript. So we can use different JavaScript libraries in TypeScript. This is the big advantage of TypeScript. And finally, all the features of OOPS are supported in TypeScript, like classes, objects, interfaces, inheritance, etc. All these are supported in our TypeScript programming. So we can do finally note. So finally, dynamic web application using TypeScript is strong and feature rich. So we can do more programming in a web page using TypeScript. So these are the few advantages of TypeScript. Scripting language, typed scripting language, JavaScript libraries are supported, also supports the features of OOPS. Right. So now, how to set up TypeScript in our working environment? So basically, we are going to work with Windows operating system. Okay. So in Windows operating system, how to install TypeScript, how to verify the TypeScript is working or not, and in the next session we'll see how to write basic programs in TypeScript. Okay, so first of all, TypeScript is a open source technology. It is completely free of cost for education and training as well as for development in IT industry. It is completely free of cost. And next thing, TypeScript can run in any browser, any operating system, any device, and also it can run on any server machine. So for example, if you are using Java, so the commonly used server is Tomcat server. If you are using .NET, Internet Information Server. If you are using Python, we have Apache Python server. And if you are using PHP, we have XAMPP server. So any technology, any server, TypeScript can be used for web application development. Okay, so this is what is all about in Windows environment. TypeScript is completely free of cost. Okay, right. Next, whenever you want to work with TypeScript programs, okay, two things. Okay, I'll write here: working with TypeScript programs. So what are the software requirements for TypeScript programs? So we mainly require two things. First one, we require a text editor. So we have many text editors, okay, like we have Notepad, which comes as a default with Windows operating system, old style, and we have Edit Plus, which is a third party and very familiar text editor, which is used for writing programs in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, Python. And the latest one is Notepad++. Okay, so we are going to use Notepad++, okay, best for Windows OS nowadays. Okay, so we also have Linux environment or Unix environment editors, like we have Emacs, Vim, Visual Editor, etc. And next, the file extension what we are going to use is .ts. So this is a TypeScript extension which is given for TypeScript programs. Next, whenever you want to work with a TypeScript program, we require a TypeScript compiler. So what TypeScript compiler will do? It will convert our TypeScript program into JavaScript program. Okay, and we can see this program also, okay, when you are working with this compiler. And this process is called as transpilation. And this process is called as transpilation. And this is done by a special piece of software known as transcompiler or transpiler. So it will convert our .ts file into .js file in client-side dynamic web application development. Okay, so these are the two software requirements, basic software requirements for our TypeScript programming, right? So and the third main requirement is Node.js. So why we require a Node.js? Okay, so Node.js allows us to run JavaScript without browser. So that is a main advantage of Node.js. And using Node.js only, we are going to install TypeScript with Node Package Manager. I'll show you how to do that. And later, using this npm, we are going to install Angular also. So npm stands for Node Package Manager. So to work with Angular or as a basic to work with TypeScript, we compulsory require a Node.js. Now let us try to install the Node.js. Okay, so I'll just try to copy this link and then paste it in the browser. Copy, open the Chrome browser, and then paste it here. Right. So go for the LTS version of the Node.js. Okay, so this is a Node.js website. Okay, so Node.js is mainly used for server-side scripting. Right. So the latest version of Node.js is 12.16.3, and Node.js also includes npm, Node Package Manager. So package manager means we can install online libraries which are required for our Node.js environment or Angular environment also, because Angular programming we are going to write and execute under Node.js server. Okay, so for this, go to LTS, click on Windows, and then select Windows Installer, MSI, Microsoft Installer 64-bit. Okay, so download should start automatically for us. Right, it's already started. So it's just 18.9 MB Node.js. The latest version is 12.16.3. Right. So to download it to our system. So whenever we download something in the Windows system, it will be available in the downloads folder. So click on show in folder. So from the downloads folder, copy it from here. Okay. Right. So just copy it from here and paste this in our working directory. So our working directory will be my computer G colon Angular 9 online. Okay, so here I'm going to create a folder softwares. Okay, so this will be our working directory. I'll just put it here in the Notepad++. Okay, so I'll write it here, note Angular or TypeScript working directory. So this will be our working directory. So G colon Angular 9 online softwares. Okay, right. So I'll paste it here under this folder. Okay, once again I'll copy this, downloads, node, copy and paste in our working directory. Right, now we'll try to install this. So just double click this and install. So in my system, node is already installed. So the old version will be replaced with the new version. Right, it is taking some time. So computing the space requirements. Right, so it is showing migrating features. Okay, right, so let's start with the installation process. Click on the next, accept the license agreement, click on next. Right, and finally your Node.js will be installed in C colon program files Node.js. Click on next, simply click on next. So just click here, automatically install necessary tools. Fine. So if you require any extra tools, you can just click on this and say next and start install button. Right, so this installation will be done dynamically. Any necessary extra features are required, that will be downloaded from the internet also. So it will take some time depending on the speed of the internet, okay, for installation. Right. So we just got a message here. The message is something like this. Do you want to allow your application to make changes? Click on yes. So the installation has started. So if you are doing the fresh installation of Node.js, it will take less time. But in my system, I already have a Node.js, okay, version 10 or 11, and that is getting replaced with 12. That's why it is taking a little bit more time when compared to regular direct installation for the first time. So it is removing the existing files and it is updating with the new files. So that is what is the message we can see here. So it is copying new files now, as we can see here. So existing files are removed. The latest version is 12.x. It is copying the new files to the system. Right. So the Node.js installation is complete in our system. Okay. So just click on the finish button. Right. So I'll say click on finish. Right. So this is some information about the Node.js. Okay. In the command prompt plus any key to continue. Right. Fine. So we are done with the Node.js installation. So how to verify Node.js is installed in our system? So for that we have to open the command prompt and we have to type this command. Okay. So in the command prompt we have to type node -v. This is a command what we have to type. Okay. So click on the start button. cmd. Open the command prompt application from the start menu. Okay. And then you have to type here node -v. So the latest version of Node which is installed in my system is 12.16.3. So this is the latest version. Okay. Right. So similarly, how to install TypeScript and how to verify the TypeScript, that also we are going to see it now. So how to install TypeScript? The command for installing TypeScript goes like this. In the command prompt, npm install -g TypeScript. So npm stands for Node Package Manager. Okay. Node Package Manager. So what is the use of this npm? It allows us to download new libraries and new installations from node repository. Is it okay? So I'll write here, it allows us to install new softwares or libraries from node repository. Node repository. Fine. So node repository is available online and it is maintained by node itself. So from there I'm going to install TypeScript in my system. So the command goes like this: npm install -g TypeScript. Okay, so I'll type this command here: npm install -g. -g indicates global installation, so this will be available for all the users of the system. TypeScript. Enter. So this is an online installation. Internet connection is compulsory. So it is getting installed from the online. Right. So TypeScript is also installed successfully in our system. Okay. Right. So the latest version of TypeScript which is installed in our system is 3.8.3. Okay. So we can also verify this. Okay. By typing the following commands. So the command is tsc-v. I'm going to use this command. So command I'm going to type is tsc TypeScript compiler -v, like you have Java C in Java. Same thing, tsc space -v. So use this command tsc-v in the command prompt of Windows. So the latest version is 3.8.3. Okay, so the node version which is installed in my system is 12.16.3 and the TypeScript version is 3.8.3. Okay, so now our system is ready with node, and this node also contains TypeScript compiler. Okay, right, and finally Angular, we are going to do it in this particular folder, Angular 9 online softwares. Right, and finally we'll also see the editor which I'm going to use for TypeScript as well as Angular. So editor, what I'm going to use is Visual Studio Code. So this Visual Studio Code, we are going to use it for TypeScript and Angular applications also. So this Visual Studio Code is IDE. It's an integrated development environment which is best for Windows for developing TypeScript applications and Angular applications. So we can also use Sublime. We can also use WebStorm. We can also use PHP Storm, Eclipse, brackets. So all these are viable, can be used. So how, but we are going to use these two, mainly only the one, which is Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'll just copy this Visual Studio Code, code.visualstudio.com, and I'm going to paste this in the browser. Oops. So automatically it is giving us download for Windows. Okay, so it has automatically detected our operating system Windows. So download the stable build. Okay, so the download should start automatically. Yes, so download has started automatically, It is around 56.3 MB. It's taking around 2 minutes. So it depends on the speed of the internet of your connection. Around 30 seconds for completing the installation process. Right. So less than 10 seconds for installation. Right. So the installation is complete. So we'll open this in the downloads folder of the system. So Visual Studio Code 1.44.2. So I'll just copy this from here and paste this in our working directory. Copy and put it in our working directory g:" Angular 9 online. This is our working directory, and under that I'm using softwares. So paste it here. Right. So I'll just paste it here. Right. So simply double click on this Visual Studio Code and start the installation. Right. So it is saying here code is already installed on this system. We recommend it for installing that version before installing this. So are you sure you want to continue? Click on yes. So Visual Studio Code is already installed in my system. So automatically that will be uninstalled and this will be installed. So just click on create a desktop icon, and so this is important for us. One checkbox, add to path. So this allows us to work with the shells or terminal while executing or developing our Angular applications. So add to path, click on next, install. Right. So it is installing the new version of Visual Studio Code integrated development environment. So what is this integrated development environment? Okay, let it get installed. We'll try to understand that. Okay. So I'll write it here, note. So what is this IDE? Integrated development environment. So here we can do multiple things. So here we can write and save programs. We can compile them. We can run them. We can verify output also, and we can also do debugging. Okay, so all these things can be done in a single software. So that is what we call it as IDE, Integrated Development Environments. Right. So installation is complete. So just click on Launch Visual Studio Code. Click on Finish. Right. So it should open the Visual Studio Code. You can close this release notes. And next, you can just click on the terminal option on the menu and click on New Terminal. So we'll get a terminal at the bottom. Okay. So just maximize this terminal. So the default folder here is C:\users office. I'll change this to our working directory. Okay. So our working directory will be something like G:\Angular 9 online. Okay. So type here node-v. So node-v will give us the latest version of the node which is installed in our system. So the latest version is 12.16.3. And next we can also type npm-v. So it will also give us the npm version, node package manager version, which is installed along with the node.js. Okay. So node package manager allows us to install different softwares or utilities as well as different JavaScript and TypeScript libraries from node repository. And next we can also type the command tsc-v. Right. So this is what is TypeScript version. Right. So this is how we have seen three things: how to install node, along with node. Okay. npm is all automatically installed, and then we have also installed how to work with how to install TypeScript and then Visual Studio Code. So that is what is all about today's sessions, guys. Okay. Introduction and history of TypeScript, and how to set up the environment for TypeScript by installing Node.js, npm, and TypeScript compiler and Visual Studio Code. So thank you for listening to this session. All of you have a nice day and take care.